first met our sophomore year. We were in the same English class, and I just remember I would always just stare at him in class, and I knew who he was, but I didn't think he knew who I was, and I would always tell my friend, hey, he's coming, because his locker was kind of by ours, and so anyways, I always just like would tell her, oh look, there he is, or try to like just stare at him secretly in English class. And then one day we went in the writing lab and he came and sat down by me, and I was so nervous and just shocked that he would even come sit by me, and we just started talking, and then ever since then.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Sometimes it's kind of hard to remember the very first things. Me and Brittany have a longer relationship than a lot of new couples do, I feel like, and we're not that old yet. But yeah, we first met when we were like 16, and so it's been quite a while since then. But yeah, we met in our English class. I guess she was creeping on me. Just kidding. But yeah, I think it was the same for me as well. Just the whole semester we sat across the room from each other, and we would always catch each other like spying on one another, and we'd always secretly hope we'd get each other's papers to correct. And finally one day after a few months we were able to meet just by talking, and from there went on a few dates, and yeah.
Our first date, I actually took him. It was a girls' choice dance, and it was like a couple days before my 16th birthday, and so it's kind of funny because I wasn't 16 yet, so I couldn't drive, so I had my sister drive us around. And at the time we didn't even notice or care. We just were so excited to be finally going on a date with each other, and we went sledding for our day activity, and then we had dinner at a friend's house, and then we went to the dance. And I just remember just like holding hands all night, and just that feeling of the first excitement of getting to know each other was so fun.
Yeah, I think that's one story that I'll probably never live down, that my wife took me on our first date. But no, it was fun. I remember when she asked me to the dance, I was working at the local grocery store, and I wasn't really expecting to get asked to my first dance. And so yeah, when I was working at the grocery store, I got called up to the front for a cleanup. There's Josh, clean up on aisle 3 or whatever. And then I go to the aisle, and there's just like candy kisses strewn down the whole aisle. And there was a sign that said, now that I've kissed the ground you walk on, will you go to the dance with me? And it was from Brittany. And so yeah, our first date, she took me too.
Yep.
And it was really fun. Good one, babe. So what first attracted me or caught my attention to Brittany? Well, there's a lot of things, but as you see her right now, just from a first glance of this girl, I think the first thing that I saw while I was sitting across the room in English class with her, I mean, her hair's kind of hard to miss. Same with her big green eyes. And so, yeah, every day she would just come to class with this huge blonde curly afro, it seems, and just always caught my attention with her hair and her style, and kind of a soft-spoken girl at first. I didn't really hear much out of her, but just a really beautiful girl that sat across from me that I kept looking at. I think that's what caught my attention, and then as I got to know her, it turned out that she was more than just looks, so I got lucky. Got both. Beautiful girl and beautiful personality, so yeah.
And for me, it was kind of the same thing. Like, I just remember seeing him in class, and he was always dressed so cool, and like he always just had friends and was always happy and just talking to everyone. And but at the same time, he seemed kind of shy. He didn't like he had this friend in class that they sat by, and they would always talk to each other. And I just remember like wanting to get to know him because he just seemed so fun and so happy all the time. And of course, I was very attracted to him. But I was I just remember being so intimidated by him. I was just a shy little sophomore and didn't know what to say or how to say it. But
she didn't have to say anything. It worked anyways.
You wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn in two? More than words to show you feel that your love for me is real.
one thing that's really funny, Josh loves sweets and treats. And he always wakes up at like 3 in the morning to eat. His favorite is brownies or cookies or whatever there is. And I just remember in high school, he would text me at like 2 or 3 in the morning and be like, eating a brownie or just whatever, just to be funny. And I just think that's so funny. So now I'll just gonna wake up with him and eat treats at 3 in the morning.
Everyone's gonna think I'm so weird now, but it's true.
I try to talk to you and make you understand. All you have to do is close your eyes and just reach out your hands and touch me. Hold me close, don't ever let me go.
Okay, it's kind of hard for me to notice something that's weird about Brittany or something quirky because I'm so used to everything already that nothing really stands out. But one of them that I've always thought is funny, that I don't mind, I kind of like it, but Brittany hates the color pink. Hates it. Like anything that's pink, she just runs from it, whether it's clothes or, you know, just anything that you can buy. She hates pink. Refuses to wear it, refuses to buy anything. And so the first time that I found that out, I owned a few pink shirts, and I felt so embarrassed after she told me that she just hates it so bad. So I threw all of those away. Now I don't own anything pink. I know to never buy her anything pink, and I just think it's really funny.
I don't care if he wears it. I just don't like pink for myself.
Yeah,
it's funny.
But now I'm used to it, and I can't really see her wearing anything pink. But I think that's just a funny thing about her.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, no pink in our lives. So when did we first decide that we loved each other? When did we first fall in love? I think I'll go first since Brittany's way better at this part than me. But I'll try. I think we first, well in my opinion, we first fell in love when we had been dating for about a year, I'd say. And I think after like a period of a year, you kind of realize that there's something more to a relationship than just like a high school relationship. And so we dated through our sophomore year, and it got into our junior year, and we kind of realized that we really liked being with each other and didn't really want to date anybody else, even though that was kind of hard for being in high school. And we looked forward and still saw that there was so much ahead before we could be to this point where we could like get married. But I remember one day specifically where it was later in our junior year, and we had talked about how we'd been together for a long time already, and how there's you know, a lot of potential in our relationship. And the first time that we actually talked about, you know, what if we get married? What if you know, we make it that long? What if you wait for me on a mission? And, you know, things that wouldn't happen until 4 years down the line. But I remember that day, our junior year, we went on a walk in the park, in Oakland Park, and talked about all of these deep life things. And I think that's when we both realized that there's something special about our relationship, and that we really did have the potential to make it to where we are today, and we made it. So I think that's for me when we realized it.
Yeah, me too. We, like you said, we'd been dating about a year, and we both kind of just realized, like, look, this really could go somewhere. And at that point, it was kind of a long shot. I mean, we still had 4 or 5 years until we could be to this point and get married, and we knew he was going to go on a mission. And I think for me, I just really, he was my best friend. Like, I didn't ever care to hang out with anybody else or do anything with anybody else. I just loved being with him all the time. And I start crying, but I just remember, like, he just made me feel so happy all the time and so good about myself, and we always had so much fun, and I just felt safe with him, and I knew there was something different about him. There's not many people out there like him, and I'm just lucky.
See, that's why she's way better at it than me. That's what I meant to say. I think when I first decided that Brittany was, you know, the one that was meant for me and that I was supposed to marry, you know, of course I thought that the whole time that I was dating her. Of course I loved her, and I wanted to be with her, and I wanted to get married. But I think the first time that I really knew that she was the one was probably over the course of our experience when I went on a mission and we had to be apart for the 2 years. I think that was really our testing point to see if this relationship really was as special and as solid as we thought it was. And so, you know, before my mission, we both knew that we wanted to wait. Neither of us had to put, you know, limits on each other. I didn't have to tell her not to date or anything like that. We both knew that if it would work out, then it would work out. And you know, from the day that I left, I think we both knew that we wanted to wait and we wanted to make it work. And so throughout that 2 years of trials and mission experience of being apart, I think that's when we both realized that we didn't want to live without each other. And you know, there's multiple spiritual experiences and confirmations that showed me, at least, that I knew she was the one that I wanted to be with forever. And I mean, a big one in itself is she waited for 2 years. I mean, that doesn't happen very often. She was still there when I got back, and when we were back together, it was like nothing had even changed. And I think that's a big confirmation as well, that, you know, two people can be apart for 2 years and grow so much and then come back together and everything's just like it was before. I think that just showed both of us that, look, we can make this work and we want to be together. So I think that's how it was for me.
And it was really amazing. Like, I feel like before he left, of course we talked about him leaving on a mission, but we didn't ever really talk about, like, hey, are you gonna wait for me or what's going on? We both just knew that that's what we wanted and that's what was gonna happen. And it was just kind of nice that we didn't even have to talk about it. There was no question about it. We were gonna wait, and we knew that we wanted to be together, and we would do whatever we had to make it happen. And it was just an amazing experience being able to live on opposite ends of the world from each other and experience that communication where, you know, you still, I mean, nothing was different between us besides him being in Africa. We still told each other everything, and it was nice that way because I knew like what I could tell him and that it wouldn't distract him. And I feel like that way it helped us both a lot, being able to be on the same page and know where we wanted to be when he got home. And it was just like he hadn't even been gone once he got home, and it was just great. In the future, I look forward to a lot of things. I know we both do. We have big plans and big dreams, and of course one of the the biggest one is starting a family together eventually, and another one, we really want to travel the world together and just experience everything that we can. And we both really want to help people and just live our lives in a way that we can grow closer together and just always have the kind of love that we do now and have it grow more every day. And I just look forward to having him as my husband. Finally.
Yeah, she's been telling me that for a long time now. I can't wait to have you as my husband.
Yep.
I feel the same way. But yeah, what does the future hold? That's a good question. I think lots of people want to know that. What does the future hold for us? We're pretty random and spur of the moment and up for anything. So for me, one thing that I love about Brittany that is one of my favorite things about her is that she lets me be and do like absolutely whatever I want to be, and whatever I want to do, she supports it. And so no matter how crazy my ideas or dreams are, or how off the wall or impossible they may seem, she always supports it and never treats me like I'm crazy for the things that I want to do or things that I think about. And so I think since she has always been like that towards me, I think there's a lot of our dreams that will be fulfilled because we both believe in each other and believe that we can do a lot together. And so I'm just excited that I have someone like that is up for anything basically, and up for the things that I want to do, even though if they're weird or crazy. But I'm just so grateful that she believes in me and believes in us, and I think there's a lot of good things coming ahead in the future for us. So yeah. And I'm excited to start a family too. Better say that. Alright, what do I want Brittany to remember from this, from our wedding, from our past? I feel like remember is a really important word. The last letter that I wrote to Brittany from Africa when I was out there, we had written a lot of letters to each other back and forth, but the last one that I wrote was about that. I just told her to remember everything that had happened during those 2 years, but not only that, but our whole past. And so I feel like remembering the past and remembering things is a really important way to stay close together, to see all the things that we've been through. And so from here, at our wedding day, I want Brittany to remember how hard we've worked to get to where we are today, and how much fun we've had until today, the things we've learned about each other. Remember how fun it was, dating and going through all that up and downhill emotion, trying to fight for each other, trying to, get to this point where we could be together forever. And so I just want her to remember that at this point and forever, I'll love her the same amount as I do today. I'll love her that much in 10 years to come or 20 years to come, up until the end of our lives. We want our relationship to always be how it was from the beginning, that the excitement of our first date is going to be the excitement of some date we go on when we're 40 years old. We're still going to have those feelings and be just as in love as we were then. And so I hope she remembers how much I love her right now, and want her to know that's how it'll be in 40 years from now.
Oh, I should have gone first. I'm crying already. But Yeah, I mean, he pretty much summed it up perfectly. I just want him to always remember how much I love him and how much I care about him, and no matter what, I'm always going to love him more every day, and I always just want him to know that I support him 100% and that I am his biggest fan, and that I'll do anything I can to make him happy, and that I just want to remember this moment right now, how happy we are and how far we've come after all these years of waiting to finally be together forever. And I just hope that we can always remember this time in our lives right now and just let our love grow every day.